there's only been one brief Caitlin Clark television commercial. There's very little promotion in stores. There's very little pop-up events. There's almost nothing that links Caitlin Clark, arguably, at least for a while, if not still, the most popular athlete in the country, male or female, to Nike, who built their entire business on seizing people like Caitlin Clark.
Look, Nike had one job, one monumental, slam dunk, cannot miss opportunity to cement Caitlin Clark as a global icon with her very own signature shoe. Fans have been begging for this for what feels like an eternity, right? The moment arrives, the Caitlin One is finally unveiled, a product teased for months, accompanied by an 18-piece apparel collection, set to drop October 1st. This asterisk should asterisk have been a cultural earthquake, a headline that dominated sports news for days, a moment of pure, unadulterated celebration for women's basketball and its brightest star. Instead, what happens? The entire launch is hijacked. Not by rival brands, not by some unexpected news story, but by her own coach, Stephanie White, stepping out in asterisk her custom kicks that same day. And then, as if that wasn't enough, Angel Reese, Clark's biggest rival, rolls up in asterisk her custom footwear, completely stealing the spotlight. Nike didn't just drop the ball, they effectively threw it directly to their competition, turning what should have been Clark's coronation into a messy, unforgettable fashion show for everyone but their star. This wasn't bad luck. This was a self-inflicted wound of epic proportions, and every single bit of this disastrous launch is on Nike.
Own coach jealous of you, wanted your own coach clout chasing off you, wanted your own coach using your moment to try her best to steal some shine, to steal the spotlight. That's when we've entered a new level of bizarro world.
Backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in.
This point guard in the history of the WNBA, provided the league actually ever appreciates Caitlin Clark. Let's check it out. Narcissism. Grandiose sense of self-importance. Exaggerates achievements, talents, and status and expects to be recognized as superior. Entitlement. Expects preferential treatment or automatic compliance with their expectations without reasonable justification. Need for excessive admiration requires constant validation and
This was June 2026, the official announcement of the Caitlin One. A signature shoe, a full apparel line, a moment designed to ignite a firestorm of excitement across social media and sports talk. By all accounts, this asterisk should asterisk have been a clean sweep, a dominant news cycle where Caitlin Clark and Nike were the only conversation. We're talking about a player who has already redefined viewership numbers and attendance records, a legitimate generational talent. Her first signature shoe should have been a global event, selling out instantly and setting new benchmarks for athlete endorsements. Instead, the story got buried almost immediately, swallowed whole by an entirely different narrative, a narrative Nike themselves unwittingly created through their monumental missteps and inexplicable delays. This wasn't just a missed opportunity. It was a catastrophic failure to capitalize on a once-in-a-lifetime phenomenon, leaving everyone wondering how a company known for its marketing genius could fumble something so spectacularly.
good chance Stephanie White was like, me, look at me, look what I did. Got to be more careful. Narcissism, folks. That's exactly. We got a unbelievable example of narcissism right in front of us from the Indiana Fever.
Backslash in.
I learned about Stephanie White, the weirder she is. Wearing customized sneakers on the same night your star player Caitlin Clark debuts her sneakers is kind of strange. It's like wearing a white dress at a wedding. Not your wedding, somebody else's wedding, which is a cardinal sin. So, okay, she wears her own shoes. No big deal. Grown woman, who cares? She doesn't have to wear Caitlin Clark's shoes, but I think as someone who's riding for Caitlin Clark, I think rocking her shoes that night would have showed a lot of support, right? That's what Phil Jackson did. Phil Jackson wore Michael Jordan's shoes. Okay? So that would have been cool if half the team worked, because I know there's contract obligations, like Leah Boss is with Adidas and stuff. I get that part, but Stephanie White could have rocked them before.
And get this, within hours, the intended narrative for the Caitlin one evaporated. Stephanie White, the head coach of the Indiana Fever, Caitlin Clark's *own Team *, steps out in her *own * custom sneakers. Not Nike's, not a Caitlin one prototype, not even something from a competing Nike line. These were * her shoes, a clear, unmistakable personal statement. This wasn't a subtle jab. It was a loud, unspoken declaration on the very day Nike was trying to push Clark's official launch. Then, as if the situation couldn't get any more bizarre, Angel Reese, whose rivalry with Clark has been internet gold since their LSU-Iowa college showdowns, pulls a similar stunt. She shows up in * her custom footwear, turning a day explicitly intended for Clark's singular moment into a shared, contentious fashion parade. The collective reaction across social media was immediate. Confusion, amusement, and a stark realization that Nike had completely lost control of their own narrative. This was less a product launch and more a chaotic circus, with Nike seemingly caught off guard by the very distractions they had enabled.
Angel Reese on the court here tonight. And those are called the what, Rosanas? The Poison Angels. The Poison Angels. The Poison Ivy. They've got the light green with the red. Pretty cool. That's what my...
Check this out, right? Caitlin Clark coming into the game, showing her new signature shoe, swinging them, just walking, living good. Watch this. You will never be able to guess what happened. Y'all, just take a wild guess what you think I'm finna show y'all. This is ridiculous, man. This is what you call the ultimate coattail riding. Now, all of a sudden, this is what's going on.
*in, *in.
Everything. She's everywhere, except with Nike. And that's been the weirdest thing. It's the signature shoe is part of it. It's going to come out in October. That's 5 seasons they've had her, and they're finally getting the shoe out. And 4 years and 5 seasons since they first signed her. But it goes into all the other stuff of like, what were we waiting for? Because if anything, I don't know if anybody can reach the popularity she had a couple years ago when she was finishing up.
Now listen to this part, because it's where the Stephanie White situation becomes so unbelievably telling. She didn't need to hold a press conference. She didn't need to post a cryptic caption on Instagram. She didn't even have to say a single word. She just wore her shoes, and the internet, as it always does, did the rest. When you're the head coach of the Indiana Fever, the team housing the biggest star in basketball, showing up in your own custom, non-Nike footwear on the exact day your star player's signature shoe is announced, that speaks volumes without a whisper. It creates an immediate, undeniable pattern interrupt, diverting attention from the official launch and planting a seed of doubt, or at the very least, a significant distraction in the minds of fans and media alike. Whether it was a deliberate act of protest, a subtle message, or a completely innocent coincidence, the optics alone took on a life of their own, overshadowing Nike's meticulously planned, or so we thought, announcement. This wasn't just a misstep. It was a public relations nightmare that could have been entirely avoided.
Basketball space, they had to get an Asia Wilson shoe out. Asia Wilson is a far more accomplished and better player than Caitlin Clark. She's I think 4-time MVP, 3 or 4-time champion, best player in the world. And they had to get that shoe out. And Asia Wilson's an African-American player. They hadn't had a single deal with an African-American WNBA player since the last edition of the Sheryl Swoops shoe back in, I think, 2002. So was there some politics involved in that? All of these things are theories. I talked to lots of people who work at Nike, lots of people that used to work at Nike, all off the record. And, any one of them could be it. Any of them kind of put in together, there's a perfect storm. But Nike invested a ton of money in Caitlin Clark. They're paying her $28 million over 8 years, but they just haven't activated it until apparently October. Maybe this summer they'll do some commercial.
*in, *in.
Games to see Kelsey Mitchell. They can't even watch Caitlin Clark, the one who dropped the same amount of points and 7 assists. But you want to post Kelsey Mitchell? I'm really beginning to think that the Indiana Fever don't really like Caitlin Clark. I think they tolerate her because she brings butts to the seats and sell merchandise and things like that, and brings national attention to their brand. But I'm beginning to feel that way. I don't think they really support Caitlin Clark. they don't, and I go by their actions, not their words. I don't care what they say in press conferences. I don't really care what they say in commercials or on social media. That don't matter. I buy them.
Whether Stephanie White's sartorial choice was intentional or a completely innocent coincidence, it doesn't even matter at this point. The optics of that moment took on a life of their own, spiraling into a narrative Nike never intended. Caitlin Clark's shoe announcement, which should have been the undisputed dominant headline across the entire sports world that morning, was forced to share the spotlight with a story nobody planned for, a story that created a massive, unforeseen information gap. This is the absolute consequence of delaying a product launch for so long that you completely lose control of the narrative. You create a vacuum, and the internet, with its insatiable appetite for drama and alternative storylines, will always fill that vacuum. Nike essentially opened the door, rolled out the red carpet, and then watched as everyone else walked through, completely eclipsing their intended star. It was a masterclass in how not asterisk to launch a groundbreaking product, showing a shocking lack of foresight from a brand that usually sets the standard for marketing.
Shoe. But the fact that it took this long for Caitlin Clark to get a signature shoe is just it's just another showing of how incompetent these people are in terms of business when it comes to the WNBA. Caitlin Clark and her reach has completely dominated the sports world, men and women, for the last 3 or 4 years. Sorry, if this was Paige Beckers and Paige Beckers had this kind of reach to her fandom, if she was increasing the viewership, if she was selling out arenas and having games transferred to bigger arenas, Paige Beckers would hands down already had a signature shoe.
Backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in.
Best PEs that I was in the debut, so I saved the best ones for last, but obviously you guys know I'm a big fan of Taylor, and the Eras Tour was the best concert of all time, so that's what I like the thought behind these, and I think they're pretty fun. I've never had so many people ask me for my shoes after the game today. Like, literally every kid was screaming for them, and I felt bad. I'm like, honestly, no, sorry, I gotta keep them. But I felt bad, but yeah, I thought they looked pretty good out.
And if Stephanie White was the unexpected opening act, Angel Reese was the headliner that Nike absolutely did not book. The Clark-Reese rivalry has been one of the most talked about, most polarizing storylines in women's sports since their epic 2023 NCAA championship collision, a game that shattered viewership records, drawing numbers that rivaled the NBA Finals. The internet, as we know, never lets a good rivalry die, and both fan bases are permanently on standby, ready to turn any moment into a scoreboard, a victory lap, or an act of disrespect. So when Angel Reese, with her massive social media presence and fiercely loyal following, shows up in her own custom shoes on the same day Nike is trying to push the Caitlin one into the cultural conversation, the reaction is not just immediate, it's deafening. Her fans treat it like a triumphant power move, a clear statement. Clark's fans see it as blatant disrespect, a deliberate attempt to overshadow. Neutral observers simply treat it as premium entertainment, and the algorithm, it treats it like pure gold, pushing both stories simultaneously, effectively splitting the attention that Nike had been counting on for a single, focused product announcement. What should have been a clean, dominant news cycle for Nike and Clark becomes a messy, three-way conversation that serves nobody's marketing goals, except perhaps Angel Reese's.
The first season they had, her junior year at Iowa, when she took them to the championship game, and the TV ratings were as high as NBA Finals games, and everybody was into Caitlin Clark and she was going to come back. To me, that's when Nike and a lot of people in Nike said we should have immediately tried to sign her to a long-term deal and set up a shoe so that when she got through her senior year, right as she's entering the WNBA, we have a shoe out there. Yeah. But even if you don't do the shoe, there's other stuff. They've released a couple hoodies and t-shirts here, but an apparel line, again, commercials do not take huge investments or lead time. Social media posts, they virtually ignore her. All the different things that were really easy to do. And when, if you read the story, the different people in the story, Will Sebastian was like, we couldn't put her, they just were buying anything with her name.
Backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in.
That the WNBA doesn't know or care to push the lightning in a bottle that they have, and doesn't understand the quote of, a rising tide lifts all boats. They sure as hell know how to take advantage of it in terms of, all the benefits of Caitlin Clark bringing in the money. This is just another way that the women's basketball can humble Caitlin Clark, can consistently throw it in her face that she's not that important, that no one really cares, that any average chick off the street that can dribble a basketball can come in and do what she does, and that she's not that important. I guarantee you, Juju Watkins is going to have a shoe out before her 3rd year in the WNBA. Guarantee.
Here is the core of everything, the argument that sits underneath all of this chaos, and it's a harsh reality check for Nike. If they had launched Caitlin Clark's signature shoe when they were asterisks opposed to when the entire world was already watching, already invested, and already completely captivated by her phenomenon, none of this secondary drama would have had room to breathe. Think about the timing, seriously. Nike first signed Clark to a nil deal in October 2022. That was asterisk before her junior year at Iowa, before the earth-shattering championship run, before the record-breaking ratings, before she became an undisputed household name, a cultural icon. Then came her junior year, and the entire sports world stopped. Iowa went to the national championship game. Clark was everywhere, every sports channel, every highlight reel, every dinner table conversation. The 2023 NCAA Women's Championship game pulled viewership numbers that rivaled the NBA Finals on cable, a truly unprecedented event. That was the moment. That was the launch window. That was Nike's golden invitation to make history, delivered by the universe on a silver platter, written in neon lights. And they declined it. They chose to wait, and that decision right there is where everything went wrong. Backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in. Because Nike doesn't get to claim ignorance here. They literally wrote the rule book on how to launch a generational athlete's signature shoe. When Michael Jordan was drafted in 1984, Nike moved with a speed that was borderline reckless. The Air Jordan 1 hit store shelves in April 1985, just asterisk 3 months into his rookie season. Nike didn't wait for Jordan to prove himself over multiple seasons. They didn't wait for the hype to settle. They didn't delay. They identified the moment, they built around it, and they launched, creating a legend. The result, a staggering $70 million in Air Jordan sales in the first 3 months alone. But wait, it gets worse. LeBron James signed with Nike before he had even played a single NBA game. His first signature shoe, the Nike Air Zoom Generation, was on his feet on opening night of his rookie season, October 29, 2003. Day 1, not year 3. Not after a 2-year delay and a botched announcement cycle. Day 1. Nike took one look at LeBron's undeniable potential and said, "We're not waiting." That was the standard they set. That was the bar they established for how you treat a generational talent, how you capitalize on undeniable star power. Caitlin Clark gave them more evidence than Jordan had, more runway than LeBron had. She gave them a fully documented, nationally televised, ratings record-breaking case for why the moment was now asterisk. And they gave her the Caitlin one in year 3 of her professional career to be released in October. The gap between their historical precedent and their current action is not just a misstep. It's a colossal, inexplicable strategic failure. Backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in. Let's be very clear about something, because this is an information gap nobody's talking about. The idea that Caitlin Clark's cloud has faded, that Nike is supposedly pulling back because she's not as relevant. That is a narrative being pushed by people who are choosing to completely ignore every single number that exists. It's a reality check that Nike themselves should have embraced. The 2024 NCAA Women's Championship game that Clark played in drew an astounding 18.9 million viewers. That's more than the men's game by over 4 million. The first time in history the women's final outdrew the men's final on television. When she entered the WNBA, the entire league's viewership jumped a mind-blowing 170% in a single season. Her games alone averaged 1.09 million viewers, compared to a mere 414,000 for games she wasn't in. Road attendance spiked a ridiculous 87% when she came to town. Her games represented 33.5% of all WNBA attendance, even though they made up only a fraction of total games played. Clark's 2025 preseason debut drew 1.6 million viewers, more than the asterisk average regular season WNBA game had drawn on ESPN the entire year before asterisk. These are not the numbers of a player whose hype is gone. These are the undeniable, irrefutable numbers of a player Nike should have been building an entire empire around from day one, proving the market was screaming her value while Nike was deaf to the opportunity. Backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in, backslash in. Here's what this moment should asterisk have been, what it could have been had Nike followed their own playbook. Picture it, it's 2023. Iowa has just come off back-to-back championship game appearances. Clark is the all-time leading scorer in college basketball history, men's or women's, a truly unprecedented feat. Nike releases the Caitlin one that fall, riding the absolute peak of her unparalleled height.